So, in this symphony of life, sometimes you get these sparks. They just come and they go unnoticed. You don't pay attention to them. Yet, every so often, we get ones that demand your attention, the ones that get you to move. And I've encountered one 3.5 years ago. So I moved. Check this out.
Listen, I just want you to enjoy my lab. It's called the lab.
So today my connection with you, Watch Society followers and viewers, goes beyond the context of watches. There is a part of my journey as a human being where I made mistakes, learned from them, and I want to share that with you. Today I don't want to talk watches, and there was this big debate whether I should just start another channel and kind of dump my creative outlet there and share with you things that I feel like I owe to you. But I said, we've built this channel together. It's got a decent following. So if it's something that attributes my betterment or yours, why not share it here? So if you've clicked on this video thinking that you're going to see some watches, I'm really sorry. You might want to click away. But if it's to do with how can you progress as a human being, how can you evolve, and you want to take this journey together, then this is episode 2 of Confession. So a few years back, I found myself uncertain of my life's direction, just like everybody else. The search for personal fulfillment that seemed elusive at the time. 20 years plus in the corporate world doing a 9 to 5, I didn't really even have time to balance family and work, and let alone making any room for anything that I would want to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do in my life. I was stuck in that world thinking that's the only reality I can have. It was like this blurred phase of just doing the same thing over and over again, and I didn't know what I was going to make out of it. I didn't know what I love or what I was passionate about. I didn't know what I wanted to do. The corporate job was important, of course, to pay the bills. It's what society tells you today. You have to do that 9 to 5 because you have these standards that you need to maintain. It's what society dictates. It tells you this is how you support the grand scheme of things of what life throws at you, so you want to do that 9 to 5. But to me personally, I always knew its means to an end. I knew that there's something else for me. I wasn't sure what it was, and of course when the pandemic hits, that just made it 10 times worse. It was challenging, it was complex to do anything. But then I also had more time to explore my creative outlet, and that was Watch Society. That's what I use it for. So the face read of it is this channel that talks about watches, but there was always a silent voice that says, I use this as a canvas for my creative expression. So the editing and the color grading and kind of mixing, blending this whole story together. And I've tried a few things, the comedy skits here and there, and changing the format, because the reality is you talk about something over and over and over again with so many opinions and so many options, it just becomes a little bit boring once again, right? So I'm still trying to figure out what I want to make out of it, but I want to be public about it. I want to share this with you, and I want to hear from you, and maybe we come up with that one great idea that gets me to pivot in that direction. I don't know. Subtle transformation that may not be apparent if you're watching this channel for the first time. However, if you trace my journey through this video here, this is a time where I didn't even believe in real cameras. It was an iPhone, no microphone, none of that stuff. So I've evolved. My content had evolved. This is not a story where I'm telling you to quit your job and do what you like, especially if you have kids and responsibilities just like myself. This is not that case. But this is more of an invitation to crave some space for your own passion, because that's a privilege, right? You can't just pursue what you want because you've got life to look after. So to put yourself in a position where you want to buy out some time and do what you really want, and hopefully that evens out at some point and gets to pay your bills as well, and maybe gradually flourish through it to the point where it's the only thing you do and it's not going to impact your life in a bad way. What I'm referencing really is how can you come up with a healthy coexistence now between both worlds? You need a job because you got to pay your bills, but in the same time you've got other interests, and time is something we cannot recover. How can you live healthy? How can you make room for both? The backdrop of this message is not immediate radical change built on impulsive decisions. I'm gonna go quit. It's not what this is about, but a deliberate evolution to yourself. How can you be better, where you can change the narrative and transition from being the supporting cast to the main member in your own movie. Transform yourself, the way you think, from a perspective of what is my nightmare life and how can I avoid it at all costs. So a lot of people tell you, pin that goal, get successful, but then you get slobby and tired and lazy and you don't do anything. But if you look at the perspective that you don't want to have, that nightmare life, that will get you to have healthy pressure that will get you to move and do things toward your dream life, that is. It worked for me, and this is how I've done it. List down what your dream world would look like. Pick one thing from it and focus on it for this year. Illuminate that path by avoiding people you don't want to be around or would pull you back, learning how to say no from surrounds you don't want to be in. It's okay, that's healthy sometimes. And say no to things that you also don't want to do. You want this step as a call to action. Also, change the narrative. So instead of saying, I wish I could achieve this, try something like, today I want to complete or action XYZ. X being the task itself, Y being the place where you want to do it, and Z being the time. So just crack on with it. Boom, boom, boom. Run with it immediately. And I get that it's easy to talk about having a plan than putting it into action. That was the case for me personally, until I fully grasped what self-discipline means. And it wasn't too long ago, I can tell you that. In the past month, I've been concentrating on making my dream life, focusing on one thing for a start, and that is fixing the inside. So here's what my day looks like. I do a morning run at 7 a.m. right before taking my daughter into the nursery. And then I work out with my trainer, and this guy is built like a machine. Like come on. Yeah, he's a tough guy, man, for sure. We'll spend an hour there and we'll work on dynamic exercises. So I wouldn't do anything that my body will not allow me to do. I take a moment in the day and I write down one thing I'm grateful for in that day. It's important to appreciate what you have as well. And then I dedicated about a solid 5 hours focused on work. No pointless meetings, no long meetings. I just simply decline. And then if I were to organize one, it wouldn't exceed even 20 minutes. That's very important. What is it that you will envision as an outcome in a meeting that is over 20 minutes that you can do in 20 minutes? I don't understand that, unless it's for a reason, like a very, very good reason. I set aside 1 hour each month to plan my videos. And instead of binge watching Netflix or scrolling through Instagram Reels, I picked a book. Currently, I'm reading Prediction Machines, a thoughtful gift from someone special. It seemed to be the right book to read. So that's what I'm doing. I eat healthy now, so low carbs. I stick to 3 meals a day. Yeah, subscribe. It's really paying off. I feel good, I look good, and I'm sleeping better. So in this short video, Sunday video call it, I want you to drop down in the comment section down below, what would your dream life look like? And what is the one action point you want to take to get closer to that dream life? Do let me know in the comment section down below. See you guys on the next one. Take care.
This space, what you're seeing is, it allows me to have this creative freedom. I like vomit everything on the walls, any ideas, any of my thoughts. And so